Hello, this is Mark Denham, just about to create a radio show promo, so I thought I'd stream what I'm doing live and we can see just how to create a basic and simple radio show promo. So I've got all the bits I need already loaded in the files section here of Adobe Audition. Up on the top left, we've got our raw promo audio that we've recorded. Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time Monday. So there we are, nice and simple. You can see here a big gap. The reason for that big gap is we're going to put something in there in the promo, okay? So just have a listen. And we've got stuff like this. So that's the gap where the stuff's going to go. So that's 4 until 7, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk or on your mobile via the TuneIn app. There we are, there's the closing of the promo. Now what's going to go in there? There's two options here of how you can do this, and I would recommend you go with this option. This is just the raw audio of the show. Here it is. BB Rexha, Florida Georgia line, meant to be Tuesday's drive time at atomradio.co.uk. Cannot get that research out of my head. Now we're going to trim that down and we're going to use that. The other option is that you can go with this. This is taken from the logger output. BB Rexha, Florida Georgia line, meant to be Tuesday's drive time at atomradio.co.uk. Cannot get that. Now you can see there's the audio and that's off the logger. What I would suggest you do if you are going to use bits of your show for a promo, don't take the stuff off the logger. On your mixing desk, there will be what's known as a recording bus, where you can send certain channels to the recording bus and not all of them. So what I've done is send the microphone channel to the recording bus. I've taken the show output for this from the logger. You can hear there it's got the audio from the song. Facebook me, tweet me or email. Tuesday's Brain based on there. And if you just listen here as well, I'll find it in a second. Shaming. No, still not found it yet. If someone else did as well, wouldn't they? It's ridiculous. In 2018, body shaming. You can hear there Brian Adams coming in, which is at the other end. But what I've done for the purposes of this promo is I've set up the recording bus just to record the actual microphone output. And you can see very different. BB Rexha, Florida. You've got a gap there. That is shocking. Tuesday's Brain Teaser for a place on the roll. No Brian Adams coming in either, and that gives you just the raw audio that you need. So we've got everything we need. We've also got a bit of backing music, which is, I may very well change this, but for the purposes of YouTube, we don't want to get taken off for copyright infringement. So it's just a generic piece of backing radio music like this, which is actually rather loud. So first thing we'll do is we'll normalize that down, and hopefully it's not peaking now. There we are, no clipping now on that, so we're all good. All is well in terms of what we're going to do. So what we have for you now on this, what we have for you is all of our forms in the waveform. To do this, we go into the multitrack and we will use my own session template here. Well, what we'll do is we'll actually name it, we'll call it Atom May Promo, because, well, Tuesday is May, isn't it? So it's close to May, it's very close to May. We'll open up that and you can see Music 1, Music 2, Voice EQ. These are all different things. At another time I will go through all of this for you and I'll tell you exactly what is happening here, but I will go through all of this at another time and tell you. But basically we have the music, which can go on track 1 or track 2. The voice can go on any of these channels: voice EQ, voice echo, voice flanger, voice chorus, voice phaser, voice SFT. These are all effects that can go onto your voice if you are doing the promo. A couple of things for sound effects, we probably won't use those in this promo, and then it all gets routed through buses. So I'll explain this at another time, but you can see basically we get down to the master and that's where it all comes out from in the end. So first things first, let's drag in our music. Now the music won't be quite long enough, we will probably have to loop the music. So the music on the music track, first things first. There it is, first things first. Now we need our actual promo voice. So that goes, we'll put that on voice and we'll have a play with it and see where it goes to within the actual session. So that will go on to voice. We'll zoom in, trim that up neatly so the start is at the start, and we will then line that up to there. There we are, we're all lined up now. Close. Let's actually make sure that we are spot on lined up. There we are, lined up now. So now in this template there is ducking on the music. I'll explain that again when I go through the template at another time. But what we've got now... Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk. Now there's a bit of mastering on here, which I don't think we need, if I'm honest, because that's just adding a little bit of extra treble. Great for imaging, not so good for a promo. So we'll try that again now without the mastering.
.co.uk.
Now what we'll do is we'll tighten this up because it's a promo. We'll tighten this up. Control and K to cut that track. Control and K to cut that. Shift and delete will then do what's known as a ripple delete. So you delete and you bring the other action back. So the second part of the clip goes back. Play it back, make sure it's okay.
UK.
Don't need the music for the purposes of this for now. We'll just check that edit's okay. No, I didn't want to solo it. I wanted to mute it. That's better. Try it now.
We've got the brain teaser and beat the intro with a chance to get on the roll of honour.
There's a breath. Don't need the breath, so we will edit that again and take out the breath. All the little things here make for a better promo. I know it does seem like a bit of a pain, but all the little things make for a better promo. So just check that edit.
We've got the big tunes and we've got stuff like this.
Now that's the gap. That is the gap where stuff like this will go in. Okay, so what we're going to do first is we're going to decide where these bits will go. We'll trim that there, like that. That bit can just move along because we don't need it yet. So, voice is just...
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time.
Nothing major going on there. There is a bit of reverb on there as well, which we may trim down. We may trim down the reverb. Put a fade envelope on there.
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk.
I've decided already that we will change that reverb effect. Drop that down to the wet is 20% rather than 30. Again, you see, this is perhaps set up for imaging, so
radio.co.uk.
Now the rest of the reverb you will find in this template comes through the buses. So again, Stu will take the mastering off, turn the reverb down to 20%. That's already set at 20. That's good. And then if we check also the echo bus, just in case we use that, there's no reverb on the echo bus because you don't need reverb when you've got echo. That's a definite no. So if we have a listen to what we've got now, you'll see that we've changed the reverb effect.
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk.
You will see down in the bottom on the VU meters that is clipping. That's digital clipping now, so that's not anything to worry about because we are working in 32-bit float, which means that we have headroom left that we can actually remove any of that clipping. So I'm not worried about that now. The original voiceover, as you can see, if we go back to the... if you go back here, there's no clipping at all involved in here. Now, if we'd have recorded that... and we'd have gone over there, that's analog clipping, and that is just bad because you cannot really, there are things you can do with EQ and things like that to try and remove analog clipping or distortion, but once it's in, it's in. So when you're recording it, do not record too loud. Otherwise, you're going to get into analog clipping. Once you've recorded in analog clipping, doesn't matter if you're recording, if you're working in 16-bit or 32-bit, doesn't matter because once you've recorded in that clipping, it is there. For the purposes of this, we're working in 32-bit float, so we're not going to hear any of the clipping when we actually do the final output. So we'll go back to our multitrack. There's where we've got to so far, and we have got these bits of audio here. Now, that's just voice.
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk.
Now, there is a lot of happening in the effects rack over here. That's because I'm recording raw here. I'm not going through a processor. If I was going through a processor, the DBX 286S is the most common one, which probably most of you would use if you're going to record this. Then most of this wouldn't be needed. But what we're doing here is we've got a bit of dynamics, which is basically the dynamics is a downward expander to remove any unnecessary breathiness or anything like that. We've got a de-esser just to take care of the sibilance. We've got a scientific filter that's going to roll off anything beneath 70 Hertz because there's nothing in the human voice really there. Bit of adaptive noise reduction, not too heavy, but again, just to get rid of any background studio noise. Dynamics processing, just a tiny little bit there. Another little tiny bit of noise gating and a tiny bit of compression there. Nothing to worry about there. Speech volume leveler, that is actually like going to do some magic on the voice. That will kind of crush the voice down where it needs to be, just boost it up a little where it doesn't, where it is quiet. Bit of EQ, again, Just nothing too much, just a tiny little bit added there, quite a bit added on the top end, and we're okay. And a very little bit of multi-band compression as well, just to take care of final equalizing of the voice and that reverb. Now a lot of this, the de-esser, the bass roll off from the scientific filter, the downward expander, and the dynamics processing, and the speech volume leveling, probably a lot of that, if you are using a processor, you won't need to worry about. So you may just need a tiny little bit of EQ on there, and perhaps that tiny little bit of multiband. But because I'm recording raw into Adobe Audition via the Scarlett 2i2, then I'm not using a processor, hence why I've added the processing in Audition rather than at source. Entirely up to you. If you are doing live work, then you will need a microphone processor if you're doing live work. But that's just the voice channel. If you can see now, if we move this down by holding Shift and selecting 1, then we'll move all of them in time to the voice EQ.
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time, Monday to Friday on...
And what that's done again, the voice EQ has an additional scientific filter which is now rolling off anything but 150 Hertz. If I put it back up here, okay, so by just selecting 1, and play this, you can hear the difference now between rolling off the low and a little bit higher in the frequency range.
.co.uk. We've got the brain teaser and beat the intro with a...
You can see that's made quite a difference now. I'm thinking for this that we will perhaps leave it...
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk. We've got the brain teaser and beat the intro with a chance to get on the Roll of Honour. We've got the big...
I'm thinking we'll just leave it on the voice track for now. So we'll select both of those, holding down the Shift key while we move them back up. That only means you can move them up and down. You cannot move them in time. So,
the big tunes, and we've got stuff like this.
This is now where we come to our bit from the show that we needed, which is... I'm going to put it on here for now so we can work with it, and we'll move that way over here where it's not going to be in the way. Now this audio is far too long for the promo. You can see this, if we leave this audio as it is, it's going to take it way over a minute. Nobody wants to listen to a promo that's a minute long. They certainly will not. They'll get bored. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have a little listen to this and we'll take the bits we want. This was a bit that I did in the show last week where there was a survey done. And I don't know why this survey was ever done. It's a ludicrous survey that says that very unattractive people may earn more than attractive people. And I'm just wondering, like why we're doing this survey and who on earth would ever quantify themselves as very unattractive. That's the point to this. So...
BB Rexha, Florida Georgia line, meant to be Tuesday's drive time at atomradio.co.uk. Cannot get that research out of my head.
Okay, so we'll start it from there. We don't need to know about the Tuesday's drive time and that because that's irrelevant to this. So start it from there. Get rid of that. Control and K is your cut. Command and K if you're on a Mac. Delete that bit. We're going to have to tighten this up though. Otherwise, it's just going to be too long. As I say, it's going to be too long.
Cannot get that research out of my head about how much people earn and whether it's based on their attractiveness or not. I'm going to ask you a question, okay? How would you describe yourself?
So we can trim up a bit here. We can trim up a bit here. For the purposes of this, we can trim up a bit here.
Their attractiveness or not.
Right, let's trim. Oh, didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. You see, we've just shrunk down that channel just a little bit too much now, which is actually not so good. I have to say, it's not so good. And not only that, there we are. Let's make it bigger. That's better. Let's make that bigger again so we can actually see what we're doing. And now it's all good. So we can Control and K or Command and K if you're on a Mac.
I'm going to ask you a question, okay?
Don't need that bit. Now this is for the purpose of the promo. We just want it to be quick and snappy.
Whether it's based on their attractiveness or not, how would you describe yourself physically? I cannot imagine anyone saying that they are very unattractive. I don't think that I'm...
Okay, so that's fine. That's fine. So we'll put another cut in there. Control and K or Command and K if you're on your Mac.
I don't think that I'm all that. I'm going to be honest, okay? I don't think that I'm all that, but I would not go as far as very unattractive. I cannot see...
Okay, so we're looking about here.
Unattractive.
Looking about there. Control and K.
I cannot see...
Actually, we needed to be just a little bit further along, but we can sort that out. If we press the plus key, we can zoom in, and we just...
I
Get rid of that. Now you can just pull on the end here, trim that in.
cannot see anyone would ever label
You see now I've gone too far, which is the benefit to doing it that way. Just pull it back.
themselves. I cannot see anyone would ever label themselves as very unattractive. And also, I think they'd probably be offended if someone else did as well, wouldn't they?
There we are. So that's enough. Control and K, Command and K on your Mac. We just need to drag that back into there. If we zoom in again,
Physically, I cannot.
just tighten that up as well. Just because we're tight for time on this promo and people don't want to be bored with a very, very long promo. And what we'll do is we will just get rid of that bit as well. Shift and delete is your ripple delete. And then what we can do, didn't want to do that. What we can do then is we can listen to this now and see what we've got.
Cannot get that research out of my head about how much people earn and whether it's based on their attractiveness or not. How would you describe yourself physically? I cannot imagine anyone saying that they are very unattractive. I cannot see anyone would ever label themselves as very unattractive. And also, I think they...
Just listen to that again. We've got a duplication that we don't need.
Describe yourself physically. I cannot imagine...
If we take that bit out of the promo just for a second and move this over here, I think that's probably going to be a shorter and better join.
Describe yourself physically. I cannot see anyone would ever label themselves as very unattractive.
There we are. So that's probably the better join. You see, that's the benefit of listening to it again. What we will do now is we will group these clips. Okay, we could group these clips, which what that means is if we group these clips together, if we now move them, they move as one because they're all part of one. Now we can decide where we put these. We can decide what we need. Maybe we need a little sweet riser or just a sound effect in there,
Like this.
so perhaps if we have a look here in the library, see, that might work well if we just put that in there just for a second. I'm not going to leave it on voice echo. I will move it in a second, but I just want to see how it sounds.
This.
See, now what we could do is we could move that to there. See how it sounds with the...
Like this. Cannot get that research out of...
Okay, so I'm quite happy with that there, but not on the voice echo track. We need to move it down and down and down and put it on the effects track. So if we listen now,
And we've got stuff like this. Cannot get that research out of my head about how much people earn and whether it's based on their attractiveness or not. How would you describe yourself physically? I cannot see anyone would ever label themselves as very unattractive. And also, I think they'd probably be offended if someone else did as well, wouldn't they?
I'm still not happy with that reverb. I really am not happy with that reverb. So I'm going to take it down even further now, just so it's a tiny, tiny bit of reverb.
You describe yourself physically. I cannot see anyone would ever label themselves as very unattractive. And also, I think they'd probably be offended if someone else did as well, wouldn't they?
Okay, so there's where we're at so far. Just going to put a fade envelope on the end of there to fade that out nicely.
As well, wouldn't they?
And what we'll do is we will go back down here, and if we find this, we can right click and copy it across. Just drop it there for now, and then we need to find the right place to put it. If you look up, you can see that there, that'll be the end of it. So if we play this along here now,
Did as well, wouldn't they?
and then we know if we just leave the playhead where that ends, we can then get the missing bit of audio that we dragged across earlier. We're going to need to tighten that up, which we will do better when we've got it zoomed in, but we need the vocals to be starting there. You can see we're also going to have to definitely loop the music. So where are we at now?
Else did as well, wouldn't they? So that's 4 until 7, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk or on your mobile via the TuneIn app.
There you go. That reverb is still too much for me. It's still too much. We might just lose the reverb altogether.
Or on your mobile via the TuneIn app.
Yeah, we may just lose the reverb.
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for
Do you know what? No, we won't. I want a subtle reverb, but that's just too much. We may shrink down the room size as well. If we shrink down the room size, perhaps that'll make for a smaller reverb.
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk. We've got the brain teaser.
That's better now. We've shrunk down the room size and we've shrunk down the actual wet that's coming through. In terms of reverb, dry is what you actually hear. So if I'm speaking now, that is dry. If there was a reverb on it, that would be the actual effect itself. So what we've done is we've really minimized. Just 5% of the output is actually the wet reverb, and we've shrunk the room size so it's not so big. So let's have a listen to what we've created so far without the music.
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk. We've got the brain teaser and beat the intro with a chance to get on the roll of honour. We've got the big tunes and we've got stuff like this. Cannot get that research out of my head about how much people earn and whether it's based on their attractiveness or not. How would you describe yourself physically? I cannot see anyone would ever label themselves as very unattractive. And also, I think they'd probably be offended if someone else did as well, wouldn't they? So that's 4 until 7, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk or on your mobile via the TuneIn app.
Okay.
Did as well, wouldn't they? So that's 4 until 7, Monday to Friday.
Okay, so that's definitely what's happening here with the promo. My microphone disappeared. I managed to click the wrong button and my microphone was muted, which is not clever. It's not clever. But what I was trying to say was, if your promo ends like this, that's very bad.
Be offended if someone else did as well, wouldn't they? So that's 4 until 7, Monday to...
Very bad. So we need to listen to the music now, and we're going to work out how we can loop the music to make it longer. So that start to the music is pretty repetitive. What we could do easily is we could right click, drag that down. If we right click and hold it, we'll get the option to copy it here. Now because we've got that track soloed, we can see if I was to line that up there, have we now got enough music? Nope, we still haven't. So we may have to do it again. Let's just have a listen to what we've got though. If we were to line it up there, we can zoom in and we can make sure that it is lined up.
To Friday on atomradio.co.
So what we're looking for is we're looking for the end of that first bit of the music. Okay, right, let's line the waveform up here. Let's line up the waveform. This is a confusing waveform actually. Let me see whether I've got that right or not now.
atomradio.co.uk. We've got the...
Just solo those two and we can just see that I've got that right. No, I've not got that right. Not by a long way have I got that right. I think it goes there. That's it. It's going to go there. So that's it now. That is the waveform lined up. Okay, that's the waveform lined up. Now what we can do again is, you see, we're still not long enough. We're shy of the end of the promo here, so we are going to have to loop that again. What we'll do is we will place a cut here, Control K, Command K on the Mac, and if we hold Shift, let's tighten that up first actually, because there is going to be a crossfade put in here by Audition and we don't want all of that silence in the crossfade. Hold Shift, lift up, and that now crossfades over seamlessly, so you'll hear the, well, hopefully you won't hear the crossfade. And then if we put the playhead there, we need to right click, copy again, let go, copy here. And then hopefully if we were to loop this for another time, this would then make the audio long enough. I could just have zoomed out and that would have been much, much easier, wouldn't it? That would have been much, much easier. Now that looks roughly right. We'll just zoom in and make sure that we've got it right. I think we're just a tiny little bit out there. If we have a quick listen, let's see how that listens. A tiny, tiny little bit of phasing. You can see that we are still slightly out, and that should be it now, I think. Let's go back and hear that join again. We don't quite want that phasing. That's probably even slightly worse. You zoom in further. Okay. So let's just have a quick look, see whether we've now got enough audio left in the promo. Yeah, we're over now. So we've gone too far. We're over. We are going to have to do a cut somewhere at the other end now. But what we'll do is we'll do another cut here. Control and K or Command and K. Shift that back up. Let Adobe Audition take care of the fade. Now let's have a listen to how that sounds at the end now.
Mobile via the TuneIn app.
That may not be too bad. We might just be a little bit long on that loop.
Until 7, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk or on your mobile via the TuneIn app.
We may be just a little bit too long there, I think. We might just be a little bit too long. What I'm going to do, though, is I am going to grab... I'm going to grab something from the sweepers, okay? So I'm going to grab something from the sweepers, and we'll have our male voice, which I didn't want to double click it. I just wanted to drag it into Audition. We'll have our male voice here, and if we go through here, these are all the sweepers.
With The Breakfast Show.
That's The Breakfast Show. We don't want that.
The Breakfast Show with Graham Bell.
You can listen to Graham Bell in the morning from 7 a.m, but we didn't want that for the purpose of this. These are just the male sweepers, all recorded back to back. I think this is it now. Control and K. Delete.
Mark Denham with Drive Time. Drive Time with Mark Denham.
Either of those will do. I think that we will delete the end of this, and if we take the second one, delete the first one. Now if we go to the end of the voice, we can put that there, see how that sounds.
Via the TuneIn app.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
Just tighten that up a little bit. Where is the end of this? There. That's the end of this. So we want Simon's voice to have finished there. And we could just put in, just between these two, we could just put in a... Could try that one. We could try that one. See how it sounds. I'm going to move it off of the track it's on now.
Drive Time with...
See, now that may very well work. If we move that down now to the effects track, we have 2 effects tracks in this template. Let's see how that sounds now.
Via the TuneIn app.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
There we are. Now there is just a little bit of reverb still going on that track. There is, you can just hear it. As the music ends, listen carefully and you can hear it as the music ends. There is a bit of reverb which is still going on, which is a bit worrying.
Mobile via the TuneIn app.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
You can still hear that reverb, okay? So it's only this track that's still reverberating. If we zoom in here, right click on this right arrow, show the envelopes for the volume, then we can just get rid of that reverb.
With Mark Denham.
And then we just pull the volume down here, then the reverb should be gone by the time the music ends.
Mark Denham.
And the reverb is still going. For some strange reason, the reverb is still going, despite the fact it should be gone. But that is your basic, simple radio promo. See, we've taken a raw voice.
Hello, this is Mark Denham.
We've taken a bit of show audio itself.
That research out of my head about how much people earn and whether it's based on their attractive.
And then we've got a bit more raw audio just telling you what the actual show, when the show is and when to listen, how to listen.
So that's 4 until 7, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk or on your mobile via the TuneIn app.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
There you go. There is your basic, simple radio promo for Drive Time on Atom Radio. You can listen on atomradio.co.uk. Be back tomorrow afternoon at 4 p.m. Here is the basic promo.
Hello, this is Mark Denham. Join me for Drive Time, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk. We've got the brain teaser and beat the intro with a chance to get on the roll of honour. We've got the big tunes and we've got stuff like this.
Cannot get that research out of my head about how much people earn and whether it's based on their attractiveness or not. How would you describe yourself physically? I cannot see anyone would ever label themselves as very unattractive. And also, I think they'd probably be offended if someone else did as well, wouldn't they?
So that's 4 until 7, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk or on your mobile via the TuneIn app.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
That's it. That is your basic radio promo done in the Adobe Audition multitrack. All you need, if you're going to do it like this, is get the raw audio from the show from the microphone from the recording bus. That would be my tip, because otherwise you are going to have music or talk over beds or whatever in the background. Get the raw audio from the recording bus. That's what you need if you're going to use bits of your show in the promo. Unless specifically you've got sound effects or jingles or something you need in that promo, put just the microphone channel on the recording bus. That would be my my top tip to you. If you do need to get the show audio also, you can always pull it off the logger at a later date. It may not be the best quality, but you can get the show in its completeness off the logger at a later date. But if you are thinking of using a bit of show audio in your promo, what you're basically looking to do is to set just the microphone to the recording bus, because you're not really going to want to say in your promo, hey, we played this song, and play that in the promo. What you want in your promo is, look, this is what we did in the show. This is what I, the presenter, did, or we, the presenters, by just recording the microphone or the microphones if it's a multi-person hosted show. That's what you need to do. So there is the promo now, all done, all finished. That's basically how you can create your own promo in Adobe Audition, and that is just a simple one. There's so much more we could have explored all in this template, but for now, that's a nice, basic, simple program. I can now mix that down, stick it out on the radio tomorrow, promoting tomorrow's show. Thank you so much for watching on this Sunday evening. I hope that you will be back next time we stream another video. And of course, don't forget you can listen to Drive Time tomorrow between 4 and 7, just like this.
So that's 4 until 7, Monday to Friday on atomradio.co.uk or on your mobile via the TuneIn app.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.